Glad to have you back. It's now time to bring some perspective to the feature on the show today. Now, in the last few years, the Nigerian taxi market is fast evolved with new disruptions which now redefine the opportunities that abound with the adoption of technology. The new phase of e-hailing services has now thrown up new competition in the taxi market, with the likes of Uber, Bolt, formerly Taxify, and even Okar dominating the sector in Nigeria. So far, safety concerns drive new regulations for online taxi hailing services. In Lagos, for example, these have come a long way, with conversations and agreements changing the face of the business. With a recent move by the state government, a new bone of contention is raised by some, as the provision stipulates all operators of e-hailing taxi services must pay the state government 10% service tax on each transaction paid by passengers to the operators. Now, the implication erupts diverse sentiments as to how will the government collect a percentage of every transaction without access to data from the e-hailing service providers. Well, joining me now via Skype, I have the president of E-Hailing Drivers and Private Owners Association, Idris Shonuga. Good to have you on the show today.
Thank you. Good morning.
Now, let's start off with the transition we've seen from the yellow cab drivers, and now we have proper e-hailing service providers like the likes of Uber, you have Taxify, much more. And now we even have a room for new competitors playing in the market in the transportation sector. Let's talk about the growth from the yellow cab now to what we have today.
Thank you. The e-hailing transportation is a new, unique system of transportation that is acceptable among the e-hailing operators, the drivers, and even the passengers, now called riders, are finding it very interesting to use this as a means of moving from one place to another place. It's a welcome development by the drivers and by the customers who are called riders.
And despite the growth we've also seen now, let's do a comparative analysis vis-a-vis the impact of COVID-19 on the transportation sector.
I want to really appreciate our government who put down a regulative guidelines which most of our members are adapting to. And in terms of contracting each other with COVID-19, as we were able to follow the regulative guidelines, where two passengers to sit at the back seat and one in front. And that has been working perfectly for us. But in terms of the economy-wise, we've been greatly affected, the drivers, because it has affected our power of earnings. A lot of drivers who rent car from the lease partner and those who are HPE, hire purchase ground, they lost their car to the owners of those cars because there is an agreement of weekly remittance. And due to the law, they have inability to pay back. Most of the lease partner, they request the driver to return the car. When the lockdown was eased, the business was not there for them to pay their 5,000 naira week payment. So as a result of that, a lot of them lost their car to the dealers.
Okay, would you now say there is a gradual pickup? Would you say there is a gradual pickup now as the economy is reopening and we are seeing phased resumption of operations across the economy?
I can't say 100%, at least like 60% things have been picking up gradually. But those who negotiated 30,000 to 15,000 now are now paying 20,000 naira now, because some reasonable lease partner understand the impact of the COVID-19. They reduce the remittance by 50%. Now that business is been picking up again, they've increased it to like 70%. And while some maintain their normal weekly remittance. And I think some drivers are still coping with that anyway.
Well, looking at the gradual pickup now, one of the burning issues for your association, PEDPA, is also the fact that we have issues surrounding profiling, proper data management, e-registry of drivers. Now, all of these issues are raised because of safety concerns of both passengers and drivers, and also to sanitize operations of e-hailing service providers.
Thank you very much. Lagos State government, under the leadership of His Excellency Governor Sanwo-Olu, has taken a good initiative to look into that sector to be regulated because of poor profiling. They let this app continue too long to do business without anybody asking them questions. And we that subscribe to their network suffer the most. You can imagine that they now have drivers who are using fake identity, and the light of Uber and Bolt will still accommodate such drivers. I've witnessed a scenario where I have to pick a rider, customer, at a pickup location. The lady has to look my face, check my front plate number and my car back plate number. I was surprised that she ought to have gotten this information before I drive down to our pickup location. Unfortunately, she explained to me that the two cars before that appear to come and pick her before my own car are using different car entirely from what she's seeing on her device, and different face. You can imagine different face, different car. The second driver, the last driver, was using the same car but different face. This is very serious. This is inappropriate profiling. We should know who is doing this business. We have quite a lot of responsible, intelligent youth who subscribe to do this business. And they should not allow the app should not allow their negligence to dent the image of those who are doing it sincerely.
Adopting best practices is critical. Adopting best practices is critical.
And even there was a synergy between the driver partners, because we are the one commuting passenger from point A to point B. We are the owners of that service. Because we don't have a technology, that is why we subscribe under their platform. There was a proper profiling with Uber then in 2015, when you have to register with your 10 fingerprint and run and do a brand check on each drivers. So there was a sanity of profiling during that time, because government lay back a bit and they threw all those adequate profiling into a trash can, into trash. They trash it out, and it now made the business to look very unprofessional.
Idris, if I may button now, at this point in time, what's your word in terms of compliance, and then seeing drivers also have engaged in proper registry, and we have improved profiling, going back to the days where there was some level of sanity in operations?
I want to thank Governor Sanwo-Olu again, because I have been part of the conversation on regulated guideline in about 4 different occasions. The last one, which was shared by Governor himself. And I want to tell you today that we have intelligent, somebody, a man of embodiment of trust, because as he emerged at the meeting ground, he demanded that where is the driver representative at this conversation. Thank God I'm there as the president of Professional E-Hailing Drivers and Private Owner Association, PEDPA, affiliate of Trade Union Congress, to speak on behalf of the drivers who are the face of this business. You see, there is a sort of confidence with the presence of government coming in there to see who is who and how this business is being run.
But do you think this confidence is still? Do you think this confidence still is present, especially at a point in time where there's the need? Government now has to request for data access to ensure the charges, the deduction of 10% of service charges per trip and all of that. Do you think, first and foremost, that we would have improved compliance? We've seen some kickbacks from some quarters.
Now their government is regulating them. So what should now be the difficulty in Lagos State government to regulate them if they submit their operation to their state government in California? So I don't see no reason why there should be any glitch from the so-called Uber and Bolt not to comply. The drivers are being the one at the receiving end because they use us as a bait. Because the Uber of today and Bolt of today are faceless organizations. We are the drivers that subscribe to their network. The one the government will run, we go after, and we take exception for that. The government should not be going against our citizens. We like the approach, and thank God we have been properly represented at the regulative guideline table.
Okay. Idris, wrapping up conversation now, let's take a holistic look at the transportation sector now. The need for proper infrastructure. At the end of the day, as drivers, one of the most important infrastructure you need is good access roads to be able to provide the best services to customers. And now looking at the potential for increased market penetration to entertain newcomers in terms of the e-hailing service sector as well. What do you think should be the way to go in terms of proper road infrastructure, and also looking at any potential for growth and market penetration beyond what we see now?
Thank you. Now, with the regulation that is coming to effect from today, Lagos State government will now know how many numbers of e-hailing drivers are in Lagos, so they can plan more road connectivity to ease the burden of traffic in Lagos State. Unlike before, that we don't know the numbers of the actual driver who are doing this business. So with this approach of government asking for the numbers of the operators in Lagos State is a welcome development. But let me tell you, it is not by knowing the number that is only the problem. We have a major problem where our company, who is not a transportation company, are being the one determining the price of the service. And I wanted to appreciate Mr. Governor advising them to work with the association body, because we cannot be rendering a service under a company that we don't have say in our business. We should have a contractual obligation to control the price of our service. We are the owners of the car. We are the owners of the services we are rendering under their platform. We are the one buying fuel. We are the one maintaining the car. On no account fix the service that they are not rendering. They are just only deploying technology. And it is a good initiative for government to look into this and ask them to form a synergy with the association body.
Thank you very much for your contribution.
And that is what
wrap up. Please wrap up.
I want to use this opportunity to tell the community of Lagos State people that the regulation is a welcome development. I want to tell our drivers, our fellow members, that the regulation is a welcome development. As far as it is not going to exacerbate the pain of already suffering drivers, based on what we had with the Lagos State government, it is our company responsibility to acquire operation license, where driver's badge will be issued to each driver carrying out transportation service under their platform.
Well noted.
And we hope that and we hope this agreement will still be the way it is, as at the last time we had a meeting with Lagos State government on the transportation matter.
Well noted. Thank you very much for your contribution on the show. Idris Shonuga, it's been a pleasure having you. And at the end of the day, we still have to look at other issues in terms of insurance policy and coverage. We still have to have proper profiling, and also compliance level has to increase if we want to see a stronger market penetration in the e-hailing service sector. Very much thank you once again for your contribution on the show today. Well, on that note, this is where we wrap up this edition of Business Week. Many thanks for watching so far. I'm David Alabi. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.